right, guys, there you are. Good to see you. The title of the video is really kind of what we're going to hit on tonight. So you guys know we've had a lot of fun on this channel. We've talked about this case as it's been going on, but the gravity of the situation has never been as present as the last couple days. I told you guys how I was feeling from when I went on, I think it was Monday. I can't even remember. And just since then, it's just been another process. Yeah, so we're going to get into that real quick. I want to talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that was said today. I think that today was hard to process for a lot of reasons. I really thought about if it's even worth talking about right now on live. And I thought, you know what, we've been doing this, even if things are hard, maybe it's just better for us to be honest and raw with it. I'm going to start with good news with you guys because we do have something really good that I'm looking forward to. And then we're going to get into kind of what I experienced today with court. So the good news, okay, to start it out the right way, is that I did another podcast interview this week. And our special guest for the podcast for episode, I think it's 7 or 8 now. Sorry if I can't remember off the top of my head. Is Lieutenant Ray Hermosillo. This is a conversation I've waited for a very long time. He and I sat down and we talked, and he was incredible. When I tell you that I can't tell you how long I've waited to have a conversation with him. We do talk, but this was different. There's things we haven't talked about before that we talked about on the podcast. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. It will be out this Friday. And I think you guys are going to enjoy this conversation a lot. So I really am excited about that. There's a lot of other good news and things going on that are good. So I always try to look at life from a positive light. And so I wanted to start with that. Going into what happened, I didn't catch too much of it today. Usually when I'm not there, I don't really know what's going on unless I tune in or I see clips or this and that. Obviously, knowing that it was closer to the end, I was interested to know if it was going to close today. A part of me felt somewhat like the relief of let's just be at the end of this. But when I tuned in today, there was a few moments and things that were being talked about that opened up a whole nother level of hurt and pain and wounds. I really thought to myself how I wanted to talk about this with you guys. I didn't know really where to start or begin. Really what I feel like is I just feel more alone than ever. Not that I don't have you guys or my family, but there's just a really hard loneliness that goes with this case alone. But today, and hearing all of the conversations and all the things, the word tough doesn't really describe it. I think really I wanted more than anything to just share with you guys the raw reality of how hard this is. Yeah, we've laughed. We've had some moments of ups and downs with this. This hasn't even been that long, right? Tomorrow is day 8. And it's a lot to take in those 8 days of the trial. Number 1 starts out with exhaustion. I don't know if I can explain to you guys how tired I am for no reason. I usually am working and have a routine and I'm outside, and when I'm at work, we're busy and we're moving and are, just physically just working all day. And then I'm 10 times more tired right now than I have been working. I've worked outside many times and this still doesn't compare. I don't know how to explain it. There's a level of draining emotionally that you just forget exists. And I just want to recognize that right now for people, just to know that it's okay to be in a bad spot. It's okay to be exhausted and physically not be just exhausted, but mentally. If you are drained and people just can't understand, like, well, you haven't been doing anything like physical, and you're like, no, I can't explain to you. Like, I could sleep for a month straight. I think I just want to say, and this is something that Ray reminded me of in our interview, was it's okay to not be okay. It's crazy because I'm someone who mentally struggles so badly to try to make everybody else feel better. I try really hard, and again, this isn't me trying to sound better or cool or anything. I try to keep people up the best I can. I try to be the one who encourages people in their hard times, and I try to be someone that just is there to pick up my friends, my family, whoever I can around me. And when I can't do that because I'm so mentally drained, I feel like a failure. I feel like I'm not doing my part. But this is just this to hear the gritty details. It just sucks. This is a different wound now because it's the same one and it hurts, but there's different angles. So this is a new scar. And that's why I titled the video what I did. There's so much pain in this life, and there's so much good, and there's so much going on in the everyday that I think sometimes we just forget that you have to take care of your mental health. And sometimes that's just taking a break. Take a minute and do what you can to make sure you're okay. And I preach this to you guys all the time. It's about the putting your mask on first. I think that's important, but there's something different about a pain that's existed in your life for a long time that gets reopened, and then it's worse. It's always worse. I can't put it into context for you guys how it's always worse in this case. There's always more, and it's like a cave, and it just keeps going and getting darker and getting worse and getting, yeah, the word worse doesn't really cover it, I guess. The reason we're doing this live tonight is because I just want to keep reminding people, which is you guys, that it's okay to just be wrecked. And sometimes you just have to understand that there's nothing you can do to change your circumstance, but how you respond to a bad circumstance is really telling of who you are as a person, and builds your character. And sometimes I think to myself, I'm like, I wonder if God allows these things for a bigger purpose, because I can't see from his perspective. But sometimes I do think as a human being, I go, how much can someone take? How long do you want to see how far I can go before it's too much? And I'm just being real with you guys. I'm sure you guys have felt that before too. And then his whole idea of, finding people you trust. And it's hard to trust people, bro. That's hard. I how are you supposed to trust people when it's like this? I don't know. I think that after hearing what happened today, so I caught some of the back and forth texts, and and then I was listening to her really go at the detective and her trying to prove her point deeply that they don't that they are that he didn't witness this and he wasn't there for this and nothing that is reality. And I know that that's her angle, but somehow it's kind of traumatic for me because I feel like that's kind of how I always grew up. Like I question myself because that was what I grew up being trained to do rather than accepting the reality of, hey, you did this. It's she would flip that on me and I would end up because of emotions, because she would cry or somehow get out of it, that I would always say to myself, okay, I'm wrong. Even when I'm dead right, I'm wrong. What is that? That's not fair to anybody. And nobody should have to go through that. And so sometimes this stuff goes deeper than just the pain of what the situation is with what was going on. And to you guys, a lot of times I think it's hard to put into context for you guys that I wasn't keeping up with these details. I didn't watch Lori's trial in 23. I didn't watch Chad's trial in 24. So this is the first time I'm detail oriented and hearing real stuff. And holy crap, like some of it's just, I think it's good to know it. You need to get it out of the way. And I understand that in a trial, they're trying to build a case and prove things. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, maybe it's not worth knowing everything. But at the same time, I know I need to, because then that's the reality that you face that gets you over the hump. And that's it. That's what it's all about, is no matter how hard this crap is, I've got to process it and then do something with it. And even when it's fresh, and even though this feels like a new scar on my body and on my heart, I think it's just the lesson that I'm sharing with you tonight is you. I guess the point, like I made, you can't avoid it. It's right there. It's right in front of us. So you got to face that, accept it, keep it moving, and keep living your life. Keep living your life. I share this with you guys because I've been that person in that place. This is just hard to talk about because this, for me, this part I'm going to talk about is really personal. I've been in that place where you're weighing out all the options of how it affect other people if you made that ultimate decision. Right? Like I've been in that place. I know exactly what that feels like. And you're thinking logistically, like people would be okay if I'm gone. Because you just want out of the pain. You just want to be done hurting. And I think that's why a lot of people get to that point, because they just don't know how to get out, and they lose sight of the fact that the dark place they're in has an ending. And so my heart just bleeds for the people who are suffering and just feel that same way. And I think a lot of us have been in that place. It's not just me. whew, I'm so grateful I didn't do that, because opportunities that came later after getting out of that place, after crawling out of that place, I was so blessed with the life that I have now. Like, I wouldn't have had, oh my gosh, give me 1 second. I wouldn't have had the opportunities I've had to help other people. I wouldn't have my son. I wouldn't have a lot of these things had I made a decision in that moment. And I think what hurts the most is I'm watching drama with grown people and all this drama around the situation, not even in the situation, but around it. And I'm watching how people function, and I'm seeing dysfunction over here and dysfunction over there, and pettiness and teenage acting and name calling, and it's like, bro, like, I think we're missing the point. I think this whole thing that we're watching in front of us is supposed to make us want to be better. Like, Lori made the decision she's making. What are you going to do with your life? How are you going to be a better person? That should be what we're walking away with. It shouldn't be, let's make it worse for each other. Let's make it all about ourselves. It's not. We get choices in our lives. Lori's made her choices. Lori has decided to fight with all of her might to protect a lie of herself. And that's unfortunate. I think about all the time a family we could have had, all the time. If everybody would have been willing to try to be better every day. And it comes down to the simplicity of, we all get to choose what we want to do in this life. To watch Lori from a third person and watch her on media and have her pop up on every social media that I have right now, and just think to myself, this doesn't have to be like this at all. It doesn't. And the thing is to kind of give you guys more of an encouragement rather than leaving you with such a sadness is, I know, and I can tell you thoroughly, that there's still a life to be lived after this. No matter what someone does to you or against you, that there's a life after. And just because I'm bleeding and fresh and hurt, and I feel the wound deep in my soul right now, and it just got worse today from all the things that popped up today. It got worse, I'll be honest with you, and that's part of this video. It got worse. The long story short really becomes, there's still a life to be lived after. You guys know, end goal, I want justice for everybody. They deserve it. And then we keep it moving. We keep going forward. I'm hoping that Monday really truly is the end of it. And I hope for the result that I hope for. Yeah. That's really it, guys. I'm sorry to really look at your chats. Just know I'm with you. I'm with you. And, I've told myself a lot. I'm saying I'm not going to put my energy into this. I'm not going to let her and allow her. But you know what? Sometimes some things it's not about her. It's about the pain. It's about the reliving pain. And I think that that's okay. That's okay to feel messed up for a minute. It's okay to go down. It's okay to not be strong. I think that's a big problem, is we get upset with ourselves for feeling so weak. I know I did. And then you're just even more you're more in turmoil for attacking yourself by saying you shouldn't feel like this. You need to get up. It's time to get. You're self talking yourself so negatively. You know what I mean? So I just put myself in a position of I'm gonna try my best every day. But holy crap, this is freaking hard, bro. It's hard. Anyway, with all that being said, I just wanted to take a minute slowly to thank you guys. I've met a lot of you when I was at the courthouse. You guys have been my support system outside of my family, which I'm Kelsey and my children and everybody else that I've been getting close with this last couple weeks. And I just want you guys to know that when I tell you that I care about you and I love you, I'm not BSing you. Like, you guys don't realize what you've done for me personally. You've created a family for me when I've never felt more alone. Like, this is some serious real stuff. So I hope you guys know that I'm not BSing. Like, it means a lot to me to have the relationship with you guys through our lives, through all your guys' prayers and love and support. Like, it's not missed. It's not taken for granted. It means a lot to me. So I'm just glad that something good has come out of this, and it's been this channel and what we've been able to accomplish as a group. And the people I've got to connect with and talk to and become close to, I would have never had this opportunity had such tragedy struck. And I'm not saying I'm grateful for the tragedy, but it doesn't change the fact that it's real and it happened. So there's nothing left but pick up the pieces and try to find the positive. And you guys are the positive, and the other relationships are the positive, and we got to keep it moving and going forward. So anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to get off my chest for tonight. I'm gonna let you know I'm fully planning on being there on Monday. I think that this is going to be kind of the closing. So if I can talk a little bit more about it with you guys after Monday, I will. And I'll let you know my thoughts. If anything else pops up this weekend, we'll talk about it. But yeah, I just wanted to keep you guys in the loop. So just know that. But I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I have been posting more on Twitter. So that's kind of where I've been jumping to immediately just, I guess, update the fast as I can, because I know that's kind of what Twitter is. It's just like an update. So if you guys are interested in some of those faster updates, I've been doing that on Twitter, just so you know, or X, or whatever Elon Musk calls it now, whatever it's called. But anyway, appreciate you, love you. Hope you guys have a great night. And thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all your support. Seriously, thank you.